What's up, everybody? What's up? We're going to get started here in just a moment. I am so excited to share some things with you guys today. It's not even funny. Really am. Just want to make sure I have some things set up on my end over here. Wayne in the house. Excellent. What's up? What's good? Bass heads. Man. Welcome. Hey, do me a favor. Won't you let me know where you're watching from? Also, make sure you hit that like button for me. Hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Do it for your boy. What's up, Orange Juice? What's up, Andrew Collins? What's up? What's up, man? I got some stuff I need to share with you guys today. I'm so happy. And I just want to share a few things. For new folks, I'm gonna kind of give you some history on the channel, some backstory. And the reason I'm doing that is because the channel has seen some really significant growth. And I want to say thank you. We hit 31,000 yesterday. And let me tell you, in this world of like mega influencers and, vanity metrics and things like that, this may not seem like a big deal to some people. To me, it's a big deal, and I mean that sincerely. It's a big deal because there are a lot of different places where you could be spending your time getting bass guitar related content on YouTube and other places on the web. And so for me to be somebody where you feel like I'm going to, hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I want to hear what this guy has to say, that means something to me. And I want to say thank you. While I'm saying thank you, I really, and I'm almost just a little bit emotional, and you'll see why in a second, but excellent. Wayne, Fleece, people like Andrew Collins, I'm Born Here, Tiny 2.0, the Baseline Project. There's so many people. If I didn't call your name, look, blame it on the head and not the heart. Listen, folks who show up, comment all the time. When I go live, folks are here. Man, that's a big deal for me. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the origin story of TED Talks Bass in just a second. For those of you who are new and don't know me or my background, these are some of like the best photos that I could find earlier today. I've been a professional musician for many, many, many years. Full-time bass player, music educator. So I've been a band director, K8 music teacher. I was a tech integration coach for a while. I have been a musical director on 2 different continents. I toured for a very short time with Jody Watley from Shalimar. I played with John B. Many years with Zigaboo Modaliste of the Meters. More weddings and hole in the wall and unnamed gigs than you can count, that I can remember. I still play in and around New Orleans, and I travel to play as well. Just recently did Icon of the Seas, a Jimi Hendrix tribute, Icon of the Seas, and some of the, I'm always kind of doing something besides YouTube, but YouTube is sort of it's my legacy piece, right? So, but my story isn't much different from a lot of you guys' stories. That is a picture of me at, I think, about 16 years old, a lot thinner, a lot more hair None on my face. But I picked up the bass when I was about 13 years old. Started playing professionally. We'll use air quotes. When I was about 18. Didn't go to school or anything. I played tuba in the marching band, but I was a kid in the 80s who played, I found music that I enjoyed. I played records. I borrowed gear. That bass right there is actually the first bass that I owned, which was a Lotus knockoff P bass. And I learned mostly by ear. I did have a lesson here and there, but mostly by ear, trial and error, things like that. The turning point for me came years later when I was, I had already been playing. I toured and different things like that, but I was working at a call center, and I decided to quit the call center and go be a window cleaner so that I could have the flexibility to go to school. I didn't know what I was looking for or what I was hoping for, but that experience, as you could see, the like Prince said, I got two sides and they're both friends. Well, those are two different sides of my playing journey, and that going to school led me into a teaching career that lasted a long time. I'm still teaching, but one of the things that I learned that really opened the door for me was I learned how to learn, and I learned how to teach, and I learned that I was excited about learning. I was excited to see other people learn as well. And so, TED Talks Bass has become this thing that I've created for people who are like me, sort of maybe, late bloomers in some ways, people who have experience in other areas, and they're chasing groove. They want to play bass and not be overwhelmed with things that may or may not matter. Wayne says skyscraper. No, not skyscrapers, but I have done several different jobs. What's up? Baseline Project. We were just talking about you. Welcome. So that's why I have grown TED Talks Bass to what it is. I've always wanted it to be conversational. I've always wanted you to feel like you know me. Some people have even gotten to know me, like Wayne and Fleece. Have gotten to know me just this weekend at my gig in the French Quarter. I met a guy named David Beasley he's like, I've been subscribed to you since the early days, right? And let's talk about the early days. Let's talk about the early days. For those who don't know, this channel has actually been around for a very long time. So I am in New Orleans. I grew up here in New Orleans. The room that I'm in right now used to be my mother's bedroom. I was living in California at the time, but Hurricane Katrina happened in 2005. And so what happened was I came back with, to help clean up and survey the damage and things like that. And so I brought along with me a little camcorder, bunch of DV tapes, and I filmed and edited this video. There's a screenshot of that video up at the top, but I wanted a place to host that video as a time capsule for myself and my family. Fast forward to December of 2006. Wow, that feels like a long time. Well, because it is a long time. It's a very long time. I posted my first tutorial, and that was Marcus Miller's power video. And then it did well. And, doing well back in those days was a lot easier than doing well on a video is now. So I followed that up with, in January of the next year with a part 2 of that tutorial. And the videos are awful. They're absolutely awful. I was scared to show my face and whatever. Anyway, we're going to fast forward. We're getting to some things that I want to share with you. But I just wanted to give you the backstory and why, the channel growing to 31,000 is a big deal for me. I've been living my life, full-time, full-time musician, full-time teacher. When I moved in 2018, I moved back from California to New Orleans to take care of my mother. And Wayne and Fleece, they really know, my mother passed away in 2021. And, of course, we had the pandemic. There was a growth spurt during the pandemic because I used to go live like all the time, and people were home, and that's really how I got to know Fleece and Wayne. But a lot of things were happening during that time. Again, the pandemic, my mother's sick. I was going through a separation, all these things, right? Crazy personal stuff and the mental strain and all that. So I'm still putting out content, but I'm just like, it's not like my main focus, Fast forward. Way fast forward. I get an opportunity to move out of the country and become a musical director at a venue in Bangkok, Thailand, and that's a shot of the venue there. Really, really, if you can imagine playing at the American Music Awards every single night, that's what it was like. There's my rig in the club, and then of course one of the streets there in Thailand. So I came back a little bit sooner than I expected, and it became time for me to really make a decision to really go full out. To like bet on myself, to bet on what I wanted to share with the world, what I wanted to put out into the world, and do that in a way that was sustainable. Now, it's been, as anything else, Wayne says, man, you are a human. You kept us alive every day, man. A lot of things about the pandemic, those going live all the time. That was actually pretty fun thinking back at that now. But since, coming back into the country and, really focusing on this hasn't been easy, but it's been rewarding, and it's getting better all the time. It's getting better all the time. And so Groove School is what I have put together for bass players just like you, just like me. Y'all know how I do. I use songs as vehicles. So it is a song-based approach. Theory is good. Theory is important. All those things are important. But let me tell you, if you know every single permutation of a triad, but you can't shuffle at a blues jam, then that other stuff doesn't really matter. So we have to find context. And that is what Groove School is all about. It's, a lot of you want to play bass after work to decompress. You want to play in your worship bands at church. You want to jam with your friends. You don't want the bass guitar to be a source of stress. You want it to be a source of joy, a source of release and relief from the insanity of the world that we currently live in. So ask yourself, take a look at this guy on the screen. I want you to ask yourself if this is you. I'm talking about new people especially. You've tried all the YouTube stuff. You've tried the apps. But like I'm saying, you want to play real music. You don't want to just memorize things. You've learned some things, but nothing really clicks. And you're tired of guessing. You want to know what works, why it works, and be able to play with some confidence. You may be a person who wants to improve, but your time is limited. A lot of people who are here in, watching this channel, you guys have, you guys have responsibilities, right? I look at the analytics. I know my audience. You guys have jobs. You have careers. Jobs, careers. You have, some of you have co-parenting situations or parenting situation. You have a partner, a spouse, or whatever. So you don't have hours and hours a day to, try to figure out things and run down a rabbit hole. So this could be you. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy is now happy. This guy looks like somebody, and it's not coming to me, but he looks familiar now. But so I want you to have a better practical understanding of the fretboard, practical theory. We're not wasting a whole lot of time with things that you you probably will never use, right? I want you to make, and I know you want to make confident choices when you're playing. You want to build skills that are going to last, right? Here's a little peek at the back end right now. As you know, I am still a one-man team, and still building a plane while I'm flying it. But I'm going to get to that. My whole approach is that we need to learn music the same way that we learn language, and that's by using it. Every groove has an etude that comes in it. And theory helps you talk about music. And I'm not saying that it's not important. I'm not saying that at all. It is, but we have to have things in perspective. Again, I'll use it. You know what Phrygian dominant is, right? And you can't, hey man, we're gonna play "Baby I Love You" by Aretha Franklin, but we're gonna play it in A instead of G. Well, there's problems there, right? So if you've ever taken a private lesson with me, my principles are, when we learn something, can you play it? Can you hear it? Can you see it? Can you explain it? Ultimately, my goal is to teach you how to teach yourself, right? So you can make these decisions when you are faced with a piece of music, either on a recording or in a live situation. So here's what's going on with the Groove School right now. And this is a limited time offer. Yes, I have to, again, what I mentioned before, this is my heart project, but it also has to be sustainable. So this is a founding members limited time offer. Here's what you get for $97 a year. That's $8 a month, about 27 cents a day, right? You're going to get access to everything that I'm working on, all the exclusive stuff that does not go onto YouTube, right? This is a one-time founding member deal. And guess what? You are locked in. If you renew, you're going to stay locked into that price. You'll be grandfathered in for life. As things get better, as things grow, as the production quality grows, as my resources grow, the team grows, you stay locked in to the $97, right? So just to put it in perspective, one private lesson with anybody is, and I say this kindly, I do say this kindly, one private lesson with anyone who's really worth their salt as a teacher is going to cost you minimum $50, okay? $50 to $100, okay? This $97 is going to give you everything, full year. You get to see everything that I'm working on. Sometimes you may need to pardon a little dust, but we're building, okay? Here's another peek at the path. Again, it is just about $26 a day. But listen, don't take my word for it. Here are some things that some other folks are saying. Tanya M says, I'm a novice. I purchased my bass in 2025. I've been taking in-person classes and discovered that my teacher can't teach me to read sheet music without chords. I've watched 2 of your videos and learned more from you than I've learned in the past 2.5 months. Gabe, it's easily my number one resource for taking my bass playing to the next level. With love to all low enders, I feel like this should have been my intro to playing. Kim Bear, that's another folks that always around here. Great videos, real playing example. Ted, one of your great skills is to teach different styles. Your tutorials are amazing. You make lessons fun and entertaining. It's like friends hanging out on a Saturday, and instead of pouring concrete, you're laying down a foundation of funk bass. Keep teaching, bruh. Sincerely, Jet. So that is, that's the vibe. That's the vibe at Groove School. And if you don't want to go over to Groove School, and I'm going to give you the link in just a second. This is going to be a short live stream today, guys. But here's the thing. If you want to stay here on YouTube, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that, right? Do me a favor, though. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. It costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Share with some folks. I appreciate it. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do. Now, this part helps me to help you. There is a form in the description of this video. It should be clearly labeled. It's a form that these are questions that I ask new students when I take on private students. It's a fact-finding thing. Imagine this. Imagine walking into a doctor and the doctor just doesn't examine you. They don't ask any questions, but they start prescribing medication. That would be problematic, wouldn't it? So you can think about that form as sort of like a pre-exam questionnaire, right? So what I want you to do for me is go on and click that link, that form. That form helps me to help you. It helps me to put better content on Groove School. It helps me to put better free content here on YouTube. All right. Also, there is a free bass player. I got a typo there that I need to fix, but that's okay. It's a skills checklist that is going to help you. That'll help you just kind of figure out, well, where am I as a bass player? What am I doing? Listen, I'm not romantic about what we do. We're bass players, right? We're not curing cancer, not directly at least. But we are saving ourselves, right? And so I just want you to, that bass that you got for Christmas, you bought yourself, that bass that's hanging on the wall that you're not playing, right? That's collecting dust. You're thinking about selling it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do those things for me and let's get started. So, like I said, tonight's going to be short, but grooveschool.co. It is .co. Write it down, grooveschool.co. Alternately, if you go to tedtalksbass.net, that will also take you over to the Groove School. Let me say that one more time. grooveschool.co. Grooveschool.co. Alternately, tedtalksbass.net will take you to the same place. So, to reiterate, $97 a year, that's the founding member deal. Founding member deal. Can't say that 3 times fast. But if you renew next year, you stay at, as long as you renew, you stay at that price. As things get better, and they will get better, I assure you, the sets will get better, the team will grow, the content will get better, and the price will go up. 100%. The price will go up. somebody gave me a really good compliment. It was a compliment that made me feel good. That compared me to one of the larger creators in this space, and I found it very, very flattering. I don't know if we're there just yet, but we are working on it. Not in a competitive spirit, but hey, why not? That's what I'm saying. Why not? So things will grow. It will get more expensive. $97, you're locked in. You get everything that doesn't go on YouTube, okay? And you're going to join a community of bass players that is built for you. You can contribute. You can help me to build this plane as well. So, y'all, again, 31,000, and I think right now we're at 31,088. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And I know that there are people I want that silver play button. I ain't gonna lie. I want the silver play button. But that's not the most important thing. If I were to close my eyes for the last time tonight, I would want to know, I would feel good about having helped hundreds of bass players play bass and feel good about it. Right? So, folks, I really appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit those links down below. Get those forms, and I will catch you in the next video. All right? As always, y'all, peace, two fingers.